dirty the Pooh. And the 100-acre shipped pile. Chapter 3, in which nothing happens at all. Really, I promise. Nobody could remember anything like it. All the animals were constantly fucking for 40 days and 40 nights, and it kept getting hotter. Then it got even hotter. Christopher Robin was too hot for his own good. Then one day, which some said was the hottest yet, and others said was the hottest ever since time began, it got even hotter. Then one day, it got even hotter. So very hot that all the animals got even hotter.
There, settle down, everybody, said Pooh. It's time for assembly.
From hell! Pooh's pupils lit up murderously with a sudden flaming light.
My very dear friend Satan told me to tell you that the job for today is to try and make it as painful as possible.
Then, with a great grunt of the loudest, jumpiest, most harmonious and tumultuous fart came tumbling out of Pooh's enormous rear. The sky was stained bright green with his poison fart. A dark, roiling mass of clouds spreading across the horizon, already huge and growing fast.
Yes, God can't help you now.
There was a loud rumble of thunder. Lightning flickered above the 100-acre wood and shot toward the ground with accompanying explosions. Within seconds, the forest was lit on fire, with a spectacular display of great flaming meteors of shit showering from the sky and raining death from above. Then, near the horizon, the moon came falling down slowly out of the sky with a burning stream of cosmic skeet behind it and was heading straight for the extremely fucked 100-acre wood.
I don't want to be here, said Piglet. Go to sleep, Piglet, said Pooh,
and glared at him so fiercely that Piglet's eyes melted like marshmallows all over his face. At that moment, as gigantic geysers of boiling piss were billowing from under the crumpled earth, suddenly the 100-acre wood came to life. Branches thick as a python smashed into Rabbit's chest, and his blood spurted over everything. The trees were attacking them, pummeling every inch of the animals they could reach. With a loud ripping noise, Rabbit's spine snapped almost in two. The tip was dangling limply, held on by a few splinters. Then Pooh grinned with satisfaction as he drove his fist deep into Rabbit's ribs and pulled out his hand, grasping his tiny heart beating. Rabbit went down on all fours, unable to breathe, the pain almost unendurable, and his intestines dripping with digestive juices burst suddenly from the gaping hole in his stomach and wrapped themselves around Piglet's neck, slowly strangling the life out of his tiny body as Pooh started a fire which barbecued Piglet a delicious golden brown. Pooh raised Piglet's meaty, grilled tuckers to his mouth and tore off a large hunk with his crooked brown teeth, chewing it open-mouthed, swallowing loudly. "None," said Pooh, chewing. "Ow!" said Piglet, dying. None. He ate another piece, then another, taking his time. "None," said Pooh, suddenly whipping out a ginormous ninja sword. Started to swing it in great circles above his head, and Roo got cut into strips which Pooh stuffed into Piglet's half-eaten carcass, which he forced Kanga to eat, covered in his own special Pooh Bear icing. "Ah!" says Christopher Robin, as another tree's twisted limb punched a large dent into his base, so that it collapsed quite flat, and a vicious uppercut from another branch pounded furiously on Kanga's cunt, which seemed to be caving. Then there was a popping noise, and for some strange reason, Ron came suddenly out of the void. He looked all around him and soiled his pants. "Oh, shit, we're done for," Run for it! Ron shouted, just in time to see the swarm of hairy demon spiders with skeet-spraying mouth organs burrow under Owl's skin and wriggle through into his brain, eating his face from the inside out. Ron shit his pants again, loudly, and the only plan he could come up with was to try to fly out. So he tried to escape by fly hacking, but started clipping through the floor instead, and got his accounts banned by Jim Dale forever, which was
Very good.
because he had no friends and was a huge noob.
Boring!
Shouted Tigger. Pooh's eyes opened very wide, and he stared at him, exposing an upside-down pentagram burning bright yellow in his eye. "Nigger, please," said Pooh. Then he suddenly grabbed a baby rabbit, and he bit off its head and drank the warm, glorious blood dripping from the lifeless corpse, savoring its sweetness as he swallowed. Then he rose up high into the air. Pooh raised his hands above his head, holding up in one hand the bloodied severed head of David Benedictus, and started chanting the heart-stopping, soul-chilling, unholy chant, so that everybody knew that it was time to die.
I want thousands and thousands of gold.
Then they all watched as it grew even darker, and the blackest of black holes appeared in the ground. Evil monkeys poured from the underworld and began beating, offing, and throwing dirty shit grenades in every direction. And zombies, brandishing rusty, razor-sharp black metal-spiked dildos sharpened on the dicks of Christian children, and with heads filled with explosive cum, leapt on all the animals and violently stabbed and sodomized them all, tearing up every anal cavity with their specially homemade rectum, ripping sex toys, then burst open with the combined force of 1,000 suns, blowing the animals to bits and leaving behind a crimson cloud of liquefied pieces of bones, blood, and demonic sperm. Then more than 100 very special retarded tyrannosaurs with massive Asperger's and Down syndrome started rampaging around the place and breathing with their mouths open. Christopher Robin didn't approve of it at all. "I'm Christopher Robin, and you're a huge tard," he said. Grinning stupidly, the Tyrannosaurus stuffed the evil monkeys whole into their large mouths. For a moment, they all chewed greedily, looks of triumph on their faces. But just then a loud fart blast of evil, monkey-shaped ships came shooting out of their Tyrannosphincters over Christopher Robin's head with a big fat "Ha ha," said the retarded-saurus. "And now it's getting worse," said Eeyore, as the 4 fucking horsemen of the Apocalyptic came riding out of his butt, mounted on horses made from the devil's ship and at Wank, and they all raped
Everybody.
with their 666 fire-breathing penises so hard that blood and sperms spurted relentlessly out of the animals' orifices. All of them.
It's all over now.
Said Pooh gravely.
The dark side is taking you.
And then the world suddenly exploded, and everything was gone. All the animals died, a horrible slow death, suffocating from the smell of Pooh's asshole. But nobody minded, because they all went to burning hell forever. Which was much more exciting, because Satan pwned them up their shit holes. And Christ still comic-sized the end of Christopher Robin's foreskin with his fucking teeth. And God blew cocky a billion fabulous flavors of sperm over Tigger's face. He thought he had never tasted anything so delicious in all his life. "Hooray! I've won!" cried Tigger. "Tiggers like cum! Tiggers like cum very much!" But Tigger, "Why?" said Christopher Robin. "Don't know," said Tigger, and he fucked off happily to bed with Jim Dale.